I don't know if you all can hear that. I really hope you can. But that also shows the testament of how good these mics are. When I tell you they are outside hooting and hollering, and by they, I mean the sirens further away though. So I guess that's good. Hey, hi, and hello. If you can hear those sirens, great, because they're a wee and hooting and hollering outside. And if you cannot, even better. My name is Jerusalem Truth. I am an artist, business owner, tarot reader, hoodoo baby, and woo lady, and I would love to give you a very personal introduction and welcome to this channel. Temperance Apothecary is the YouTube extension of my pre-existing business, Temperance Apothecary, where I sell handmade candles and body butters. We have some new releases coming very, very soon, so make sure you follow us over on Instagram to keep up with those updates. So, today, I am actually recording two videos. If you're keen and you see me in the same sweatshirt, you know what time it is. Or, you know what, now that I've clocked it, I got to change my sweatshirt. So, I thought I would come to, okay, Ten of Swords at the bottom of the deck. I thought I would come to y'all, you know, with a collective weekly reading. It's not the same as the forecast that takes place on Mondays, but it's kind of a midweek check-in, overall asking spirit, what messages would they like me to deliver for the collective, anything that's been on my heart and mind, things that come up and inspire me in real life, so on and so forth. So today, funny enough, I was not supposed to record this. I am meant to record this looking at my calendar a couple days from now because that's the idea that came to mind. But as I sat down to record another video, which I won't name, you'll just have to be surprised and subscribe and follow to make sure you see what video that is. I heard the title of this video, which is April Showers. We'll see what I ended up titling it. It came to mind because I am currently in Chicago. It is rainy. It just stopped raining, like hard, which I love. I've personally been so sleepy, which hit or miss, but I don't mind it. I personally love an April shower as an April baby myself. And as I'm sitting down, enjoying the weather personally, I heard April showers. I pulled a couple of cards for myself with another deck, and it said Por qué no los dos? So here I am doing the April Showers collective reading, since Spirit clearly has a message for us, and I will follow it up with the other video I have planned. So if you have found this message, this video has found you. You are part of the collective intended. This is a timeless reading, of course, but if you are watching it as it is posted and it resonates just as fine, as always, use your discernment and your vessel, your filter, and take what you need, leave the rest. These two felt like they wanted to come out. I'm gonna keep it real cute, real cash. Okay, we got Temperance, and can I get two more, Spirit? I'll keep it. Oh, no, you want that one. Okay. I just want to keep going. Ooh. Ten of Swords reversed, which means I picked up the deck upside down, but sometimes that's what you need. We'll take it. We'll take it as the Ten of Swords reversed, and we'll flip the deck back to the way that it was. I have 5 cards, Temperance in the middle from our Modern Witch Tarot, and then Spirit with our Neo Tarot. Okay, King of Swords reversed. May I just get some cards for the underlying themes that you want the collective to know and be aware of? What do we need to know about April showers? Ooh, the moon on the bottom of the deck. I also realized it was the Ten of Swords in this deck that I saw at the bottom. So the deck was correct the first time. April showers, okay? Don't let the rain get you all. First of all, don't let the rain get you down. Rain is how we grow. Rain is how the leaves grow. The plants, they're budding again now that it's spring. Rain ain't gotta get you down. But don't let, and let me set our timer so so I can be conscientious of the time we're spending together. Don't let the rain make you think nothing is happening or that things aren't changing just under the surface, right? Because April showers bring what? May flowers. I'm taking that from this Ten of Swords reversed for sure. I'm also going to put this on Do Not Disturb. Yeah, these April showers are asking us to get real focused, real intentional. But let's get into the cards. We have the Ace of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands, Temperance in the middle, which came out upright. Ooh, the Tower, and the Seven of Wands reversed. All right, Spirit. Let's get these. I knew it. Okay. I was feeling a little pyramid situation. You all can't see that, but know that it's there. Then with our Neo Tarot deck, you got the King of Swords reversed, Two of Cups in the middle, and the Page of Pentacles. Immediately with this tarot pyramid that I've set up here, we have the Ace of Pentacles, Nine of Wands, and Temperance. You have been presented with a gift, or you are being presented with a gift that feels like it's raining on your parade. So you're over it. You're defensive, you're paranoid about it. You're actually like, come on, this is a little too good to be true. You know that, I know that. Why are we pretending? And that is a real honest place to be. That is a truthful place to be, because sometimes, especially when we've been through the ringer, when a lot of things have happened chaotically back to back to back to back, I'm thinking of the Nine of Wands and how it follows the Seven of Wands, which is combative and also shows up here in reverse. And then the Eight of Wands, which is motion, that's movement, it's quick, it's fast. The Nine of Wands is weary, okay? Very weary, very hesitant, very careful, cautious, if you will. Some might even say anxious about the other shoe dropping. That Ten of Wands is an even starker, I almost said sturdier, I guess both, a starker journey, because they typically are at their wits' end just trying to get through. But we're not there yet. Instead, we're at the Nine of Wands, kind of looking a gift horse in the mouth. And when I see Temperance on the end here, right, I have the card set up where it's the Ace of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands, right? So you see how this Nine of Wands is looking back at the Ace of Pentacles. And then you have Temperance here. The answer and response to the weariness you feel is actually finding a place for it. It's allowing yourself to feel that weariness, but the only way to transmute it is to work with it. You can't ignore it, you can't run with it, but you also can't afford to lean all the way into it. We are in a new season, and by we, I guess the entire world. In the Northern Hemisphere, it's spring. In the Southern Hemisphere, it is now winter. Either way, we are amidst a transition, and it's offering us a very palpable new beginning that we can't quite see all the way through yet. We don't know what's on the other side of this coin. We don't even know or see the hand, the body, the being that it's coming from. We just see this omniscient, this ominous hand offering us something. And so, yeah, when you've been through some stuff, when you've seen things change like that, you're a little weary, you're a little hesitant, you're battle worn. That's what I'm hearing. You're a little battle worn, and that's okay. But remember, the sun will always come up tomorrow. You see how the sun is in the back of the Temperance card? Temperance is, of course, one of my favorite cards, if you could not tell by the name of this channel. And it's a card that asks for moderation, and I think asks for consideration. I always think of homeostasis, right? Balance, we think of things being even, but I prefer the word homeostasis because it takes me back to science class, which takes me back to the idea that homeostasis is finding a balance in real time. It's not making sure everything is even all the time, every time, right? If you're spinning all your plates are on the same level, spinning at the same speed. That's not homeostasis. Homeostasis is the idea that your body is adjusting its levels, or a system is adjusting its levels in real time, so that it's always able to achieve and moderate its baseline setting, if you will. So if your baseline is peaceful, how do you moderate your feelings, your emotions, your time, your energy, so that you are predominantly peaceful and that all of your levels are geared and engineered and leaning towards that? Conversely, if your baseline is that of mistrust and that of discord, or I'm hearing snark. If your defensiveness, that's the word, if your orientation or your baseline has become that of defensiveness, it can be a little difficult to rewire and try to find a different version of homeostasis, because your body, your mind, your spirit is acclimated to getting there, to maintaining that baseline. So if you feel too high or too happy, too joyous, too peaceful, it's going to bring you back to that baseline. Or if you feel too sad, too upset, too hurt, it's also going to bring you back to that baseline, right? So thinking of homeostasis in reaction to the skepticism you might have for the Ace of Pentacles, Nine of Wands situation, it's okay to be a little fearful, but at the end of the day, you got to face that fear and transmute that fear. The Temperance Angel has one foot on land, one foot on water, pouring water from one cup to another. And it almost looks like they're purifying, right? Like they're rinsing something out of one cup. And so right now you're taking this opportunity and you're finding the balance between your fear and expectation that maybe the worst can happen, or that, oh, everything just happens to me all the time. You're finding a homeostasis. You're filtering out between the two of these what needs to stay, because part of that battle-wornness is the fact that you have gotten this far, but you ain't come this far to come this far, right? So taking the new beginnings, the seedling that is the Ace of Pentacles, and balancing that with your rightfully earned caution, but knowing that it's intention that makes all the difference. And then we have the Tower and the Seven of Wands reversed. You have to release your own paranoia around the other shoe dropping, because inevitably life is going to happen. The showers will come. It is going to rain again. And that doesn't mean it's going to rain forever. That just means, it doesn't mean it's going to rain forever. It also does not mean that you have to keep your raincoat on at all times and to enjoy the sunny days. It's just foolish, and things are going to flood and fall apart, and you don't have to go there either. What you can do and know and feel and embody in your body is the intention that you have to carry forth and see to this Ace of Pentacles that you have been gifted, and accept that when life brings you a shower, when life, I heard when rubber hits the road, you don't have to be so defensive about it, because you know that you're not fighting this by yourself first and foremost. Even though these cards are giving solo dolo, the Neo Tarot deck cards, we have the Two of Cups, but we're going to get to that in a second. You don't have to approach or face the whims of life alone, and you don't have to approach them from this hard, calcified place, this callous place of being afraid, because at the end of the day, the worst is actually over. We think of tower moments as pretty serious, and usually they are, but tower moments are typically shaking up our foundation in one of two ways. They're shaking up our foundation to test it, gut check a little bit. Are you doing what you say you're doing? Are you thinking, moving, believing what you say you believe? Are you acting in ways that bring you the new opportunities you want, the new resources you want? Because this Nine of Wands, it's easy to be paranoid. And that probably sounds a little quasi, but as someone who's done it, it's easy to be paranoid. It's easy to be angry. It's easy to be defensive. And when I say easy, I mean they are the more accessible emotion for a lot of folks for a number of reasons, especially for Black women and femmes, because it is an often rewarded emotion. And that doesn't mean rewarded positively. It means that it garners attention. It gets people to care about you. It gets people to react to you, even if it's not with care, right? If you're upset, if someone comes into a space angry, pissed off, they're, you feel that. And that is one of the quickest, easiest ways to get someone's attention. It's biological, right? When a baby is screaming outside, people often turn around, or even when a baby is crying in the house, right? It's to get something. It's to garner the attention, to have a need met. So it's easy to be angry and to be disappointed and to be defensive and to wear a chip on your shoulder, because to take it off means that you have to ask yourself, what does it look like to not be so damn angry? What does it look like for me to transmute these feelings? What does it look like for me to maybe, instead of always having a no good, very bad, awful, horrible, never good day, you have an okay day sometimes? What if you are intentional in your pursuit of opportunities to change, opportunities to shake up your foundation, opportunities to gut check yourself, right? And you have to come at this with a sense of curiosity. A message I just heard, now looking at the Neo Tarot deck down at the bottom here, we have the King of Swords reversed, the Two of Cups, and the Page of Pentacles. It's time for you to get curious. It's time for you to drop the I just know it all, like can't nobody tell me nothing. That is a defense mechanism from me to you, as someone who also can default into that, whose baseline has been adjusted to that of, I have to be self-protective, I have to know everything, I have to always be right, because, and this was the part I wasn't saying out loud or even acknowledging, I have to be right or else I am unsafe. Ooh. You heard that alarm? Confirmation clock, that T. So when you start to interrogate your own personal systems or your personal OS operating system, your ways of being, your natural emotional homeostasis, yes, do it from a place of clarity and definitiveness, but you have to meet yourself with curiosity and loving curiosity. Sometimes we can be curious about ourselves and it's from a place of judgment. It's from a place of shame. Like, why do you want to do this? When it's a habit, a vice, a relationship, something we feel like we should not be doing, we meet ourselves with curiosity, but it's often shameful or guilt-ridden curiosity. What would it look like if, instead of being the judge, jury, and executioner to yourself or to the issues that you're facing, to your reaction, to the shakeups that you are facing, what if, instead of being judge, jury, and executioner, you actually got to know this feeling? What if you actually listened to and asked yourself or others around you who may also be experiencing this? But again, this is giving a very much solo UVU energy. How can you meet yourself with love in this moment? And how can you meet yourself knowing that you are a work in progress and not punishing yourself for that? I have two minds about it. Yes, we are healed. I believe that we are, the day you decide that you want to love yourself is the day you start loving yourself, because you even have the self-awareness to begin that journey. You get what I'm saying? And at the same time, I believe we are always we being the collective, or just those who are interested in their own personal development, are always evolving. We are always growing. We are always changing, because if you're not, I believe you're dying. And that's for anything, right? That's for plants, that's for animals, that's for insects, that's for humans who are also animals. Anything that has been given life or is a living object, anything that is a living being, anything that is a being, sentient being, is in a constant state of evolution, or else they are dying. That's just my 2 cents. And I bring that up because we can be so clerical with ourselves. We can be so divisive and invasive and surgical with our own hearts and minds and spirits that we forget we are the first and last person we have. We are our first and last defense. And if your defense mechanism is then able to turn around and use it on you, that paranoia, that anger, that vitriol sometimes that we can slip into, that defensiveness, that anxiety, often is projected out because that's what we're feeding ourselves. So how can you, in light of an April shower, in light of a shake-up moment, in light of those tower moments, rather than hold on to the definitiveness of your defensiveness, because sometimes it feels like we're going to be that way forever, how can you instead choose to move with and through those emotions and with and through those reactions, and meeting yourself kindly, and allow yourself to be a work in progress without being ashamed of the progress that you're making? That feels like a very clear message, but just for posterity's sake, Spirit, I'd like 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 1 to 2, 2 to 3 more cards to close out the reading on what you'd like me to share with the collective about April showers. What opportunities for foundational shakeups are coming up? How are we being called to deal with them? Ooh, I was just being nosy. Sometimes I like to pull the cards that come after what I pulled because that feels like a continuation of the story. But don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We have the Magician, the 5 of Swords reversed, and the 7 of Cups. Yeah, babe, you have to remember that you earned those battle scars. And that does not make you a victim. That makes you a survivor. That makes you someone who did what they had to do in order to get where you are. Oh, I just heard the Toni Morrison quote. And if you get it, you get it. Catch it. Sometimes we don't survive whole, but our mission is to survive. I believe she said it in an interview or wrote it in an essay. I apologize, don't get me lying. But I know Toni Morrison said it, and it's in her documentary. We do not always survive whole. And that is not as life should be. Those are circumstances often beyond our control that affect us in profound ways we can't undo. And you still survived. Not surviving whole does not undo or negate the fact that you survived. In fact, it shows that you are capable of survival, and in fact have tools you can maybe adapt or readjust or tinker with, so that next time you survive a little more whole, or next time you know what parts of yourself to protect and what parts of yourself, 10 of Swords, 7 of Wands, you don't have to be so defensive about, what parts of yourself you don't have to cling to and you don't have to hold on to under the guise of protecting yourself, protecting your peace too. Because I think that this is a channel, so maybe it's for someone. If protecting your peace means that you are effectively isolated from people, places, and experiences that do not make you feel good, clack that T. And I use good in quotation marks because, of course, using your discernment and trusting me, right? This is the kind of community we're building here. We go real talk. You know that I am already assuming you are someone that has discernment and someone who can trust themselves in their inner voice and inner knowing. I am simply a mirror to you, a reflection of you. Therefore, I know when we be playing. And sometimes, okay, not all the time, sometimes, it is really easy to be defensive, be paranoid, have the chip on your shoulder, see yourself as a victim. And to an extent you are. However, it's both and. You are a victim of the circumstance and you are a survivor. Now, whether you are a willful survivor or not, are very different stories. But what I am seeing, especially with these final 3 cards, we have the Magician, the 5 of Swords reversed, and the 7 of Cups. You are, through this Ace of Pentacles, through letting down these walls, or fences, I should say. I did a quotation because there's a story I have about visiting a specific place where during a tour they showed us fences, and it was about 8 feet worth of chain fence, and then the rest of it was cement wall. And they swore up and down, this is not a wall, this is not a wall, this is not a wall. And I won't get too much more into those details. However, the point of that story is we can sometimes convince ourselves we don't have options, that we are stuck, that we are victims of our circumstance, and not necessarily survivors who have the tools to get the hell out of Dodge if we need to. But this magician is showing up. This magician, coupled with the Seven of Cups, is showing me and showing up to you as saying, you already got the tools you need. Oof. If you, and I sound like my dad, you don't know that, but here's me telling you. Anytime I would be frustrated or not be able to do something or couldn't figure something out, my dad would let me complain. And he'd say, yeah, okay, that makes sense, and hear me out. And then at the end, always faithfully say, well, you have all the tools, Jay. And that would get me so irate. It would just make my skin crawl. Because what do you mean I have the tools? If I had the tools, I'd do it. That's how I would think about it. But the older I get, and I think the reason why this story is coming up is he was right. Because at the end of the day, whenever I have truly had the desire for something, I got it. I got it through the tools that I have. I already have everything I need to get what it is I want. And the same is true for you, friend. You already got everything you need. In fact, these April showers are speeding up the growth process of your seeds, because the more water they're receiving, the more light, the more shakeups they're receiving, the foundational gut checks, the more fortified you are, the more options that are able to be revealed. And frankly, when you yourself decide to let all that mental chaos and turmoil go, and again, we know each other, all right? We cool here, we homies. You know yourself, you know your mental health, your emotional health, your psychological well-being, that comes first. Your discernment comes first. With that being said, you know when it's shit that ain't got to do with your prescription. You know when it's things that you are taking on. Anxiety are often things that we are worrying about, or outcomes we are worrying about that never happen, for better or for worse. And that was very specific. So maybe I said that to you for a reason. But what I'm saying is, overall, you as the magician are the person, think of it almost like a farmer. You're the one that tills the land, that is curating the conditions necessary for your Ace of Pentacles to grow and to develop. And you actually have more options than you think. As the magician has all of the elements: fire, air, earth, water. They have all the things they need in order to really get in there and get busy, to make some magic happen. So, and my sound bowl rang a little bit. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but confirmation. So with this final message, what I'm getting here is you as the magician are making magic happen in such a way that you are creating new pathways, new rows is what I'm hearing, sticking with the plant theme, for you to continue to plant these little seedlings all around, right? And something is saying, let me get two more from the Neo Tarot. No, actually, I'll take one more, Spirit. I felt one. Let's use these as the final. Okay. See, yeah, I love that. All right, yeah. These two fell out together. But you have the Two of Pentacles reversed, the High Priestess reversed, and then the last card, which I meant to pull just one, but two jumped out, are the Lovers, which I will show back here since they are unclothed, and then the Queen of Pentacles upright. Yeah, friend, you no longer have to question or doubt your ability. You know what you are. You know who you are. You know what you are capable of. And the things that you do not know, whether or not you can do it, the fact that you have the desire lets you know there's something in there for you. There's something to be learned. There's something to be gathered, to pick up from that desire in itself. Another story that just came to mind. I really would like to do a triathlon. And I wanted to do a triathlon since I was jit. Not jit. Somebody might be from the South. I wanted to do a triathlon since I was a kid. And in the past couple of years, I've started to semi-incorporate triathlon training. And it hit me the other day, the only thing holding me back, stopping me from, I currently bike and I run at the gym, but I don't swim, is a swimsuit. That's it. And I, for the past 3 months, since 2026 I've started, have not done a single swim because all the excuses I've inserted in my mind, but really I have stopped myself from getting a swimsuit. I have spent money on all kinds of shenanigans. I've spent money on practical things as well, but I don't have the money to get a swimsuit. That's not true. That's not true. And so when I sat down and I was doing my Q2 New Year of Life ruminations, I like to do a little mind map. One of the things that came up is that I want to be a triathlete. And I had to say, okay, if that's really how you feel, Jerusalem, what are we going to do about it? We have everything that we need to address what it is that we want to address, to do, to change. We literally have a gym with a pool, not even 10 minutes from our house. Like, why aren't we taking advantage of that? So I go to Marshall's, I go to find a swimsuit, and guess who finds a swimsuit? You get what I'm saying? Like, the Queen of Pentacles here as the last one, you got to do it for you. You can't do it for anyone else. You have to see, oh wow, I just noticed this. The Page of Pentacles was one of the first cards we got, and now we're ending on the Queen of Pentacles. You got to see the forest for the trees. You have to see beyond just the ace and not in that paranoid, oh my gosh, everything's going to go wrong way. If your mind can imagine the worst case scenario, you too then can imagine the best case scenario. If you can track and hem and haw around these April showers, you can look forward to some May flowers. And sometimes you gotta get specific. Sometimes you gotta conjure the flowers in your mind before they are out and present, right? I have been just every day looking at the trees outside of my apartment because they literally, I would turn it around, but that's not safe. They are right outside my window. I see the trees from where they bloom, from the leaves, from my apartment. It's like I'm almost sitting in a tree. And when I first moved in, it was so beautiful. I loved looking outside. I loved having my windows open. And of course, winter, all the leaves fell away, all the flowers fell away. And I have been fiending for some flowers to start growing. And I know that's not how it works, but I want to see them. And the trees in front of my house have not been growing, only for me to recognize the other day, the trees across the street are growing. The trees down the street are starting to grow. We have to see the forest for the trees even when we don't feel like it's coming. I knew some damn leaves were going to grow. I knew some flowers are going to come back. But in my mind, I was like, oh my gosh, winter is so long. Climate change. Which is still true. But I just had to give it time. I had to give it time and let Mother Nature do her thing. And she's still doing her things because these trees are still naked. But I know that there are going to be some gorgeous, gorgeous flowers, leaves budding over the next couple of weeks. And rather than rushing my mind to think about, oh my gosh, when is it coming? When is it coming? When is it coming? I'm enjoying the day-to-day changes. I'm saying, oh my gosh, that has more buds on it than it did yesterday. Oh my gosh, what kind of tree is that? I wonder what leaves are going to grow in, right? So maybe there's something you can take from that story as far as being able to forecast, first and foremost, what is beyond the shower of the moment. And then sometimes, and this is also very specific, so take it because it's meant for somebody. I just got the visual of a personal rain cloud, where sometimes we stay up under our personal rain cloud and then act like it's hurricaning outside, and it's not. Sometimes it's pouring, absolutely pouring from the clouds in our minds and from the clouds of life. Don't get it twisted. And that pouring, that rain feels like it's going to be forever, but it simply cannot rain forever. It can't. It won't. And so if you know that, how can you start to orient yourself towards Mayflowers? How can you start to prepare for the flowers? Oh, yeah. You gotta you got to get a hold of that shadow friend. It's time for you to free yourself from the shackles of your mind. That's what I'm going to say. I started pulling some extra cards, but I don't want to redo the whole reading. Yeah, Four of Swords. So if you're watching this and there are circumstances of strife and honestly a lot of distraction as well, the Devil card came out. And then the Ten of Wands reversed. It may feel like the finish line is right there, but you're going to pass out over it. And I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong. Again, I trust your discernment for your life the same way I trust my discernment for mine. With that being said, a lot of it though, friend, is you got to take a beat. You got to stop being so fucking mean to my friend. Okay? And I'm talking about you. Stop. What do I want to say? When the rain clouds get heavy and you are drenched, you're shivering, and you're cold, remember that there are so many ways to get out of the rain. You can go in the house, you can put on a raincoat, you can get an umbrella, you can maybe even call a friend to come stand in the rain with you if that's what you need in that moment. But what I'm hearing is you have to face your April showers knowing that the rain is going to pass, knowing that this is simply in transition to the rest of spring, to summer, to the rest of the year. I think a lot of people underrate how difficult transitions and changes can be for people because it's a choice point. That's a point in time when we are deciding for ourselves, consciously or otherwise, how it is we are going to move forward, either doing the same thing, doing the certain things, but leaving other things. Sometimes we want to radically change our lives. And when that doesn't happen, it can feel like, oh, well, that just means naturally I'm supposed to go back to the things that I was doing. And that's not the case. That's not the case at all. What it's saying is that you have a decision to make in this tower moment, in this choice point moment, on how you will proceed. But you have been given a very valuable opportunity to do so with that Ace of Pentacles. So, and then here we have these last three cards. I just keep pulling. We're already at 38 minutes. This is my longest video yet, child. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. I want to end it there just because I don't want this to be too long. But the messages came through very, very clear. I will get last messages from the Neo Tarot deck. Last words of, I was going to say advice, encouragement. And the last one was a secret third thing. We'll see. Advice, hermit. Don't go this alone. You don't have to. Oh, encouragement, Ace of Pentacles. See, what did I say? And then 10 of Pentacles reversed. It's okay to not have it all yet. It's okay to just be at the beginning. In fact, that's what you're being encouraged. This is a new beginning, right? The first pages of a notebook are some of the most intimidating, but sometimes all you got to do is scribble in it. Sometimes you can pass it to a friend and they can write a note to you in it, and that's how you kick off your notebook. And it's okay if you can't see what this ultimately is all going to become. Right? I think it's so funny that the Ace of Pentacles is followed by the 10 of Pentacles reversed. We don't have to catastrophize. We don't. We actually can enjoy a new beginning. We can enjoy a transition, even if that's not our baseline. And then we don't have to work so hard at it. Again, when you decide, I want to love myself, you already do, because you have the self-awareness to begin and cultivate and curate and be intentional in that journey. So you've already made the decision. You already have decided to turn a page and end and complete a chapter while starting a new one. So there's no going back. But you have to fortify your mind and allow yourself to meet yourself in them gallows because it gets dark. It gets really hard when you're in the midst of something new and it's not working and it's uncomfortable and it's awkward. But when you allow yourself to sit in the April shower, to enjoy the rain, to feel the rain on your skin. Natasha Bedingfield had it though, like, No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. So feel the rain on your skin. Okay, we got 2 coming out. You want one more? I have my eye on her. Okay. So we're going to finish with 3 affirmations. I usually just pull 1, but we clearly needed something a little denser today. So the first is, I rightfully create and set boundaries that protect and support my peace. Exactly. What did we say? As long as it's not a wall that you over here calling a fence, you absolutely need to be protecting yourself and using the skills that you've gotten from them battle scars, from them fights, that defensiveness, that protection, that self-protection, using that to set your boundaries and protect your peace and support your peace. That's key. Then we have, the universe is never late and God is always on time. My destiny is revealing itself in divine timing. Exactly. If I could call this reading anything, April showers, trouble don't last always, and neither do April showers. There we go. That's the title. Know it just for shits and gigs. Exactly. April showers don't last always. We always get to May. We always get to the May flowers. Trouble don't last always. The universe is never late and God is always on time. Okay? He's an on-time God. Yes, he is. And now he is the way the song goes, but my God is gender inclusive. All right? And last but certainly not least, I am grateful to inhabit this. Let me read. Last but certainly not least, I am grateful to be the soul to inhabit this magnificent body. Exactly. You know what? Let me show you something. Look at this. All right, I'm gonna shake it out. Whew, my arms are sore. We had a good little workout the other day. We're gonna take them. We're gonna go like this. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep. And we're gonna go like that, friend. Give yourself a hug. Give yourself a pat on the damn back. Sometimes you gotta smack your own ass. Excuse my French. And say, hey man, you're doing a good job. You're doing a great job. And when you aren't doing your great job, you're doing your best. And if your best ain't best in how it needs to be best in, which you know if it is or it ain't, that's all right. But that's also not forever. You can decide to go and find out what your new best is. You can go and decide to be the best in a whole new way. So with that being said, remember, I am grateful to be the soul that inhabits this magnificent body. The universe is never late and God is always on time. My destiny is revealing itself in divine timing, and I rightfully create and set boundaries that protect and support my peace. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this collective reading, please make sure to subscribe and comment down below any messages that resonated with you. I also offer 30-minute and 60-minute general life forecast readings, love and romance, as well as career and development readings, and a custom 45-minute or 90-minute reading for my creatives who are interested in investing in their creativity, their entrepreneurship journey, and other ways that they want to produce and create out in the world. So thank you all so much for watching. If you want to book a reading with me, my April books are open and all of that information is available down below. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.